Let's make a soul connection. Soul to soul connection. Heart to heart. Make us start with the soul connection. Soul connection.
Welcome to Sixth Sense and Beyond. I'm your host, Christina Andrianopoulos.
And I'm Catherine Glass, psychic medium.
Well, we have a really great show, don't we, today?
We do.
We have an animal whisperer. I mean, we've heard about ghost whisperers and horse whisperers. We have a real live animal whisperer who hears animals speaking to her.
That's right, like Dr. Doolittle, only both in the living world and in spirit.
That's great, because a lot of my friends, when they heard I was doing the show, they said, you need to have someone on there who can communicate with maybe our pet who passed away. And
Right.
so,
Well, mediums can often do that too, but
Right.
it's not always a specialty. And this
Right.
lady, Karen Daly, who's on today, it's her specialty. So
Yes,
that'll
that's
be
great.
very
Oh, I
interesting.
can't wait.
We have all the pictures of the pets around.
I know all this. They're visiting us.
we all
so that's
love our
great.
pets so much, don't we?
And then we also have a fun on-air reading, and we have Pam. Pam's going to be your guest as an on-air reading, so you'll witness Catherine doing an on-air reading, so that's one of our other favorite segments.
Right.
And then one of our most favorite segments is Psychic Challenge.
Yeah, psychic challenge, where you get to decide which object that I've picked and put my energy into and see if you can guess the one that I picked and test your own psychic ability.
I know, and then even each week that you watch it, get a little bit more fine-tuned into it too. And then we always like to finish it, like the denouement, we like to finish it with our psychic
Psychic
tips.
tips, yeah.
And Catherine's got really good psychic tips. What are we doing today for
Today
psychic
we're going to
tips?
talk more detailed about connecting with your spirit guides and in a specific things you're going to ask for.
That's great. Oh, like signs. Oh,
Signs
good.
from
I
your
love
spirit
that.
guides. Yeah.
Oh, good. So you'll learn how to ask for signs too.
Yeah.
So that's great. But we couldn't do this without our sponsors, Julio's Liquors,
Spirit meets Spirit.
Yes.
And the Healing Essence Center in West Concord, a center for holistic modalities, energy healing, clairvoyant reading, acupuncture, Ayurvedic medicine, nutritional counseling. List goes on and on.
in Concord, Mass.
Concord, Mass.
That's great. And your soulmate happens to be the proprietor as well.
That's right. Jonathan Glass
Glass.
is my husband and life mate, and he's a brilliant healer, if I may say so myself.
He is. He did the acupuncture on me.
Right. We
while
have to
were
have him
TV.
back on.
We do.
We can
we have
talk
to
about something completely different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, there's medical aesthetics. Medical aesthetics. What medical aesthetics does, it looks at you and sees the youth in you, and you go in and they have all these wonderful treatments.
And they make you glow. I
They
get my
do.
skin all dermabrasion there. It's like a little cat tongue taking all the dead skin off. It's fabulous.
I know. And then for people who might have extra lumps on their bodies, they take care of that right before going on the beach, if you'd like that. If you like it. If not, that's fine.
Right.
But they do that, and that's also in Acton, Mass.
Yeah.
Too. And then, of course, Christian Ray, who's now with another hairstylist powerhouse, Sal
sounds beautiful.
Akuri. Yep. So he's with Moda Akuri, and so there's these two powerhouses on the west side of Worcester. So Christian Ray, thank you. And
Tell them about our gallery.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Our
We have an
third
exciting gallery coming up.
And if you've never been to our psychic gallery, it is amazing. First of all, we make it an entire evening.
Right.
This year on March 20th, we have it at Nuova Restaurant right on Shrewsbury Street. It's a beautiful restaurant owned by Loretta and Alex.
Yeah.
And Alex is the chef owner. And they've given us all of upstairs, so our guests, after, you can come in and dine early, and everybody who has a ticket can get 10% off the entire menu.
Wow, that's
I know, it's great.
fabulous.
It's really great food. And then after you've dined, you come upstairs, and we're going to have some of our inner circle psychics. So we'll have Mary
right.
Daisley, who does tarot card readers.
Yeah.
We're going to have Diane DiPietro, who's the good witch, and she'll maybe do a palm reading on you. And
Yep. So they'll have tables set up, and you can have little private sessions with them. And the main event is I'm going to be doing a demonstration of spirit communication, which is what a psychic gallery really is. And I will be talking to your loved ones on the other side who are already lining up and getting excited to come through. So
Are they, like,
please-
knocking,
They're
going?
knocking. Please come to the gallery and let us share the proof that life does go on beyond this physical life, and talk to all your loved ones in spirit.
that'd be great. March 20th at Nuovo. And if you go on sixthsenseandbeyond.com, it's a secure ticketing site.
Right. You can buy your tickets there.
Right, $35 early bird, and then we sell out. So try to get to it.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, we have to start our show.
I know.
All
Let's
right.
let's bring Karen on.
Karen Daly.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you
Hello.
for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. talk about one of my favorite topics, animal
Yeah.
communication.
Animal communication. That's great. You know, what I love about this show is that there are gifted individuals who reach out to us, and Karen's one of them. And fortunately, you're patient because it takes us a long time to get everybody on our show.
Yep, yep.
But I always wanted somebody who can talk and relate to animals on a spiritual level.
Such an important topic. So we all love, so many of us love our animals, you know. But Karen, you're also, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a nurse, is that right?
Yes, I'm an intensive care unit nurse.
Wow.
Excuse me, for many years, and that's my day job. And I'm a Reiki master, animal communicator, medium, and a spiritualist as well.
Excellent. A healer.
So, was it in your family? Could your whole family communicate with animals, or was it a special gift you had?
No, I actually discovered as an adult that my grandmother could communicate, but she never shared that with me when she was here living in the earth
Kept it
plane.
under wraps, I bet.
She kept it under wraps. But I
It would
started
have stoned her or even hung her by her toes back
yes,
then.
things weren't accepted back then.
Right.
Yeah.
And I started communicating with animals when I was a child and really enjoyed it, but my parents were very afraid of it and said, no, you're not really talking, it's all in your head. So I stopped.
Happens often, yeah.
I stopped for quite a few years, and then as I became an adult, I started realizing, no, it's not all in my head. And, you know, heard people from spirit as well coming through to me, wanting to talk to their loved ones here. So I do both. I communicate with people in spirit, I communicate with animals in spirit, and I communicate with animals that are here living with us.
That's great.
Yes, and when I spoke to Karen last night a little bit on the phone to get to know her a little before we brought you on the show today, and we talked about how when you connect with people's animals that are living, well, I guess on the other side too, how you're able to really learn a lot about that person, that animal's human. Like you
Yes.
can give them tips about their own health and things through communicating to the animal.
Yeah.
So it's like a link to the
Sure.
life of the human.
It's very interesting because you never know what the animal is going to say.
Right.
Many, like the mom or the dad of the animal, have certain questions usually that they want to know. A lot of times it's, did I do the right thing?
Yeah.
If the animal's in spirit, you know, did I wait too long? You know, is everything okay? So it really is so much healing because the animals speak, of course, from their hearts. And if the human, that the mom or dad, is doing something that the animal is concerned about, like mourning too much.
Interesting.
Many times the animal will say, you know, put the dark clothes away. I'm living. I'm fine. I'm happy. You did the right
The
thing.
grieving process for the
Right.
loss of our animals sometimes is deeper and longer,
Right.
actually, than for some of our human
I know.
relations.
I have friends who don't have children, but they have animals, and their animals are like their children.
Absolutely.
And so when they learned that Catherine and I were going to do the show, one specific couple in New York said, just don't do the mundane stuff. Just don't do just the ghosts and the stuff. Get someone who can communicate or communicates with animals, because they believe that a little dog that's been in Ruth's life has come back in life again, reincarnated to be with her.
That
Yeah,
does-
do they come back in the same within the human's lifetime to be their pet again? I get that question a lot.
I do as well, and they can. Sometimes they do, but not always. And a lot of times what will happen is they will have such an influence on the next dog or cat that comes into the home that they will show them certain mannerisms and they will exhibit them. My dog, Daly here, he exhibits a lot of the characteristics of my other dog, Duncan, that's in spirit.
Wow.
Even to the point of a certain place where we used to walk, the short walk versus the long walk, he would always try to turn to the right to go on the long walk, and Bailey does the same thing.
Wow,
Interesting.
that's
So
great.
they can come back, but I find more so it's their influence.
And do you, from your experience, Karen, do you believe that animals have individual souls just like humans? Or, I mean, I personally believe that, but my grandmother used to say animals have a group soul and they kind of go back and get reabsorbed in this animal consciousness. And so I wonder.
I believe that we each have our own individual soul.
Yeah.
And an example of that is when an animal, a person contacts me perhaps for a reading and says, you know, my puppy is afraid of men. And I've had the puppy all the puppy's life. There's never been any abuse or anything. Why is that? And when I communicate with the animal, it's a past life experience that they've brought into this life.
Yeah.
So they really have taught me a lot, the animals as well.
So I might hire an animal communicator to
Right.
come in then and work with that puppy.
Right.
And communicate with it to what? Explain to it that this is a new life, that trauma is past. You
Right.
don't have to be afraid
Oh, that's
anymore.
great. So you can even take it to the next level of therapy. Now we're talking to Karen Daly. Karen Daly is a pet whisperer, and as a little girl, animals were talking to you.
Yes.
And if you told your mother, she'd kind of poo-poo it and say, "No, you're not." Right? Like
Correct.
a lot of parents
She
do
was
with
afraid,
children who
right.
are awakened, their
Right.
souls. So,
Right.
what was the strangest animal that talked to you?
When I was a child, it was a big tortoise.
Wow.
A
Tortoise?
big, huge tortoise that was in my backyard that came up from the brook that was right next door. And we were all afraid, my siblings and the neighborhood children, because it was a snapping tortoise.
A snapping
There are a
turtle.
lot of them around here in New
You know.
England. Yeah.
And my mother was screaming and upset, that it was going to bite us. Get away, get away. And
God.
I said, and I heard the tortoise say, it looked right at me with its big eyes and said, "I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm just investigating."
Oh, wow.
And so I started yelling, "Don't hurt the tortoise.
Oh,
It's
nice.
just investigating." And my mother looked at me like, "What?" And she wasn't going to hurt it.
Right.
But, I was afraid that she may, because she was afraid for us. So he investigated around the bulkhead in my yard, and then he turned around and he headed back down towards the brook.
Wow. Now, was
Wow.
there a period of your life, Karen, where you shut it down and then it reawakened again, your ability? Or did you always secretly communicate after your parents told you not to? Or what
No, I
happened?
stopped.
Yeah.
Not right away, but I stopped because of their frowns and their just their fear. When you're a small child, 6 years old or so,
Right.
you want your parents' approval. So I did. I kind of shut it down for quite a while, but I'm happy to say that I allowed it to reawaken many years ago.
And you've been
We're
practicing
glad.
ever since?
Yes.
Great. And so you will do readings for people. You're professionally working in this,
I do.
even though you have your day job too.
Yes, my day job, and I teach animal communication classes.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, that's great.
I love it. I
Okay,
love
so
to teach.
what does that entail, an animal communication class?
So it's a group of like-minded people who are animal lovers, and I teach them how to receive messages from animals, and we communicate with my animals first, and then later on in the day they bring their pictures and they swap and they share and communicate with each other's
Now,
animals.
are you able to validate some of their communications when you use your animals because of things you know about your
Absolutely,
animals?
yes.
That's good.
Yes.
That's
That's
reassuring.
great.
And my animals love to teach. They love to teach.
Wonderful.
They love to be heard. They love to let me know what they want in case
Yeah.
I'm not listening.
Yeah. So do you have that's your animal right now? That's your pet right now?
Yes,
Okay.
these three.
Both of them?
And the horse.
All three.
And the
Yes.
horse too?
Yes.
Wow. So do they all come to this meeting with you and hang out?
Every morning I ask them to help with,
Oh,
with
ahead of time.
with every reading,
Right.
with every class, and they love it.
Wow.
That's
And
great.
they do. They do. And I thank them for it because they like to be appreciated as well.
And we're going to talk later our psychic tips about spirit guides. Do
Right.
you know, and some people have animal totems as a spirit guide.
Right.
Do you have any animal spirit guides that work with you and through you that are in spirit? Are you aware of?
I've always, and I didn't know why until I became older, but I was always attracted to wolves. I always
Wolves,
had
wow.
postcards of wolves and books on wolves and
Yeah.
everything
Definitely
was
one
wolf.
of your guides then.
Yes,
I would definitely say that.
yes.
Wow, that's great.
Well, I
Good.
just want to say really quickly, when I met Karen over the phone and we talked, being an intuitive myself, I was kind of, just tuning into and aware of her essence and energy. And when she told me she specifically focuses on pet communication, she's able to do personal, human communication, but I sensed about your soul's essence, there's an innocence there and a purity and a quality that is like animals, unconditionally accepting, loving. There's a certain vibrational frequency of a person who is connected to pets. It's
it
different
is, yeah.
than someone who's more connected to the angelic realm, say, or the
Right.
fairy world, or the humans.
Right.
And Karen
that's
has
great.
that.
Well, talking about being connected, we're going to do our psychic challenge. Can you
Okay.
help us with this?
Sure.
All right, why don't you hold this pretty little fairy,
Okay.
and I am going to do the little banner. So now we have 3 objects here, and what we do with this segment is, if you put it a little bit
Hold it
closer,
up so they can
what we
share
do
it.
with this segment is that Catherine is going to pick one of these. I don't know, and Karen doesn't know which one she picks, and then we ask you to kind of tune in. So go ahead, Catherine.
Okay.
What have you picked? And I'm going to try to pick up on it too.
Okay.
All right, you got it?
Yeah.
All right, so you can write it down, and then when we come back after the next segment, after the on-air reading, you'll have another chance to do it again because you'll send the message again. And thank you so much. Karen, thank you so much.
Thank you
so
for
much.
joining us today. And
Thank
a
you
lot
for
of people are
having
going
me
to be
here.
really glad we had you on.
Thanks for having
Absolutely.
me.
Yeah.
Thank
The
you.
animals need us.
They do.
They do, they do. And we need them.
Yep.
We do.
And we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
A soul connection. Soul to soul connection.
Welcome back to Sixth Sense and Beyond, and this is the part of the show where I give my reading to a willing candidate. And today I have Pam. Thank you for coming, Pam.
Well, thank you.
Today we're going to give a very brief 5-minute reading. So, first of all, I know and I'm very aware that your father in spirit is with us. Is he passed over?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know I have a rather large man here who had dark hair in his youth. Mm-hmm. And youth meaning, 40s, before he started turning gray. But he's showing me that he's really excited to be here today, and he's really excited that you're here today because it's an opportunity to speak to you, to give you a few messages, okay? So
Okay.
can I proceed?
Yes, please.
I can't go into detail too much here because we don't have time about description of him, but I do know that he had breathing issues at the end of his life, and he was heavy, and then he either started to lose a lot of weight or became very ill and frail toward the end. Do you understand that?
Oh, yes, very
And he
much.
says, I was really ready to go. I had to go. And I love my girls, and you have a sister.
Yes.
Okay, and he's talking about, Pam, that you are at a point in your life where it feels like you're up against, it's almost like a dam with the water trying to get past this dam, and the water is your creative energy, your life force, and it's being finding ways to kind of trickle around this sort of big piece of energy that's holding you back. And he's telling me that this piece of energy is responsibility pictures. You are taking too much responsibility for the whole family unit, and I'm not talking about, you're not married, right? So not your own family, but your mom, for one. It's a big energy there. He's trying to help from the other side, to comfort her, to look over her, to support her energetically, but she's very needy, and it's draining your energy a bit. And so, and this is no criticism about your family. We're all human, and we deal with life the best we can. But the message for you personally, because it's your reading, is to really start to pick up and look out toward another direction from the one you've been looking toward, with all of your responsibilities and your family, your sister, your mama. Is there a brother?
Yes, there is.
He's not as much of an issue for you, but you have this sort of mother hen attitude. You act like the eldest born. Are you the eldest born?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, you take on the responsibility like that. So he wants you to really fly and be free and take your life in stride. Now, you're coming into a prime period of your life, and there's so much more wonderful possibility for you, creative expression of your life, and also your career path. You're very good with people. You're a very good communicator and very good with managing people, management. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. Okay, do you have any questions? Because we have like 2 minutes left.
Oh, I mean, I know, like, my sister had a hard time with my dad's passing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, I mean, not that she feels responsible, but she does feel like a sense of guilt.
Yeah, our loved ones in spirit, the first thing they want us to know is to please don't feel guilty. Let go of guilt. Everything is done exactly as it was meant to unfold. I am happy, I am free. Imagine the best experience you've ever had in your life, and you can tell this to your sister, the happiest moment you can think of ever having in your life, the happiest feeling, and multiply that by like hundreds of thousands of times, and that's how blissful they feel in the spirit world. For the most part, like 98% of people who cross feel this way. So you can reassure her that it's better for her to focus on her own process, her own grieving process as a healing process, rather than keep going over and over in her mind, what could I have done differently, what should I have done differently, and I feel so bad. She's learning from this experience of his passing. It's all part of the story or the tapestry of her life journey. So the way she handles his passing is a big piece of her evolving. You understand? Mm-hmm. And you've kind of jumped in and taken responsibility to try to help and fix everyone, and you've done that now long enough, is what Dad's saying.
Okay.
Pup, time to get moving on. Yeah, and I just want to say that Spirit wants you to know within a 2-year period, Pam, there's going to be things are going to look really different for you. I feel like you're going to either go back to school and get some kind of education, expand your learning, and there are going to be some different, more options in a career path opening up for you. So a lot to look forward to between now and 2016.
Oh, excellent.
So thank you for coming on. We're out of time for our reading, but I so appreciate you're willing to volunteer yourself here in the public like this. Thank you. And if you'd like to come and have a reading on air with me, please write to readings@Sixth Sense and Beyond. Thanks so much.
A soul connection. Soul to soul connection.
Welcome back. And Catherine, once again, you just really blow me away. That was such a great reading with Pam. That's great. It really touched her. I know Pam, and it really touched her heart what you said to her. She told me afterwards. But anyway, now we have our favorite part, Psychic Challenge.
Psychic
All right,
Challenge, guys.
now, if you weren't here to see this before, it's your chance now to pick one of these three objects, either the fairy over here next to her left hand, the Winter King, or Winter whatever he is, but he's cute, and my
Winter
peace
fairy.
sign right here, my peace flag. So, all right, so just take a second. Which one do you think
which
it
is
is?
the one that you think that I picked, and then we'll tell you why.
All right, so which one?
I
was it?
chose the peace flag.
Oh, I picked that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good girl.
Did you pick the peace flag?
So when you do something like these psychic games, always just go with your first impulse. Because when I'm closing my eyes, I'm sending you an image, a mental image from my mind. I'm visualizing what I've chosen. I'm visualizing the peace flag. I'm saying the word peace, peace flag, peace flag. And I'm sending out that thought to you. And so when you catch it or pick up on it, usually something of these three items will light up to you. And it's the first thing that you see. Don't second guess it. You're usually right.
Okay, so we got that.
Go with
Now,
your gut
and that
instinct.
leads right into our psychic tips, because you're going to talk about signs.
That's right.
Right?
So we all have spirit guides, and they come with us from the moment we incarnate to the moment we leave this lifetime. And they are here to assist us in our life mission and our path in life. They don't interfere or intervene without invitation, but they will step in if it's really life-threatening and it's not your time to go, for example. However, when you want guidance from your spirit guides, 3 items you need. 2 items, a pen and a pad of paper. Put it beside you, sit down in a comfortable chair, close your eyes or get into a comfortable sort of gaze, and really start to breathe and relax and invite your spirit guides in to communicate and say, guys, I have a particular issue in my life right now that I need some support and guidance with. And I'm going to ask you to give me 3 specific signs, evidential, physical signs for my answer. In other words, not just one sign like, yes, I got the job. Like that's a big sign, you got the job. But maybe the question is, should I take this job? Well, they've offered me the job, so that's one sign perhaps.
Right.
But then you can ask for 2 specific other signs you want, and they can be anything that you know you will see. Like you can say to your spirit guides, look, you know me well, you know how I work. I'm a feeler, or I'm a thinker, and I hear words well. So give me auditory message to give me guidance about, yes, this is the right job to take. Or give me this, if the job is in Tennessee, for example, show me, I want to see the sign Tennessee somewhere in the world within the next 3 days. You can be very specific with your
I love
spirit
that.
guides and tell them exactly how to work with you. It helps so much when you do that, because then they can be really clear and bring it in for you.
Right. Now, that's important. Let's kind of go over this again. I have like my favorite numbers. You know, I have my lucky numbers, my favorite numbers.
Right.
So I'll be driving and I have this thought in my head and I go, well, am I supposed to do that? And I see my 18.
Right.
Suddenly I see license plates that have 18s
Just like
on them.
that.
I mean, it might be 81, it'll be 18, it might be 801, but there's the 18. I go, okay, I got it.
Now,
so,
some people might call that superstition, Christina, but it really isn't, because you have set a clear intention. You have sat down in a chair. You have taken the time to ask and connect. And you can even do it when you're driving. You can ask and connect with your
Sure.
spirit guides, but you don't want to space out when you're driving.
yeah,
So-
don't space out when you're driving,
so-
especially if it's snowing.
But you're telling them, please, I need some guidance and I want 3 concrete signs. Maybe a particular song on the radio comes on. Maybe someone says a phrase in the next room you overhear saying, I just
Right.
was watching this TV show and this guy moved to Tennessee. oh, there's my sign. You see?
And it doesn't have to be a big sign like there's thundering and it hits you or
no,
something.
it can be
little
subtle. So you
little
gotta,
signs.
yeah, you got to promise to keep your eyes
Right.
and ears peeled. Also, help them help you is really the idea.
Well, Catherine, we did it again,
all
and we have
time's
our
up.
Psychic Gallery March 20th. Don't forget, we
It's
have the
gonna be
Psychic
great.
Gallery, and thank you so much to our sponsors, Julio's
Spirit meets Spirit.
Yep, right there in Westboro, and also Medical Aesthetics in Acton and
Healing Essence Center in West Concord. Yep.
And if you would like to have an on-air reading or get in touch with Catherine or me to be a part of our Psychic Gallery, please do at readings at sixsenseandbeyond.com, sixsenseandbeyond.com. And don't forget, try to come to the March 20th Psychic
get your
Gallery.
ticket. You can get it right
on
online.
Nuovo, okay? Well, Catherine, it was another great show. I can't believe it just flew away.
I know, always
I know.
does.
And then just watch. We're going to poof away.
Have a great day.
Have
Thank
a
you.
great day. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Let's make a soul connection.